Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to today's episode. This is episode 5 of Palm County. City Hobbyist here, and it's going to be an exciting episode. Right now we are looking at the Little Shopping Center and Hotel and Golden Oaks community, which you can see is under construction in the background. That's what we did last episode. I think the build came out great. But I think we've been stalling in the sense that we haven't really grown the town and the county population-wise. We've been kind of stalling with these kind of more detailed builds for the last 2 episodes. So, I mean, we did build a whole community last episode, but it hasn't had time to really build up, level up, and grow. We still are only sitting about 1,600 people. If we hit escape here and we move around, yeah, so after building this entire community, it's, well, it hasn't been great because, yes, it does have 350 population, but if we go down here and look at our total population, we're only at 1,600, which means we've only actually built on what we've lost. We've lost 300 residents, which I'm not really sure how, but somehow we have, because we hit 1,600 before the Golden Oaks build. But anyway, I digress. So, for today's episode, let's zoom out here a little bit. We're going to buy this bottom tile down here. We're going to continue the town of Fort White down this way. And, yeah, that's really basically the main goal for today's episode, is to expand our population. I do want to build a medical center, so we probably will see that being erected here. But besides that, I don't really have too much else planned for this episode. Just get this number up as much as we can. So, with that said, let's go ahead and move on to part 1, Fort White expansion. Alrighty folks, time lapse here. Yeah, a lot of exciting stuff in this portion of the episode. We just got the new tile, which is letting us expand Fort White all the way down to kind of where the peninsula kind of dips in on itself a little bit. Yeah, we got more of Fort White Island, or Fort Island. So we will be building on that shortly, which is super, super exciting. And yeah, I just taking this grid down, expanding this road, trying to figure out what's the best natural looking way to kind of cut this grid off. And I decided I'm just going to cut it right into itself. Yeah, so I'm going to kind of make this like downtown Fort White. So I'm going to have a lot more older looking buildings down here, a lot more, it's just kind of to make the town feel a little older down here. I think that's going to help with the story of the town and, you know, the tourist factor of the town as well. And yep, just went around and started zoning some commercial, placing parking lots because I want this to be a really touristy area. I imagine this is where, if you're staying in Fort White, if you're staying in the park, you know, you're also spending time down here in downtown Fort White. So just went around, made some zoning adjustments, edited buildings when I could, and then yeah, I did build this bridge, although I was having troubles with the positioning of it. But yeah, just to kind of get an idea of where we want to start building on Fort Island. And then I went around the riverbed with this key, which is from the Bridges and Piers pack, which is honestly one of the best content creator packs in my opinion. And then I created this little park, which I'm going to name River Park, because it's a park on the river, obviously. And I think it's a nice addition to the community. I think it came out great. Just what I imagined. Yeah. unfortunately, you know, we're still in the beginning of the game, so we don't have a lot of the assets for the parks just yet. So I am excited to get there. It's gonna just tie this whole park together. But you know, until we get to that point, we're stuck with this. We're stuck with this. Yeah, and then I just kind of went around, connected everything, make sure everything works. Went around, added some trees. We'll get to that. Yeah, let me take the second to kind of talk about what I want out of this kind of town and community. So I want to create like the entire county, right? So I think I'm trying to have every town have a little backstory a little bit, but this is definitely an older Spanish town. A lot of the inspiration from this build is coming from St. Augustine and Savannah, Georgia. I think those are two beautiful places when it comes to Spanish, early Spanish settlement in America. St. Augustine, of course, way more than Savannah, Georgia. But I feel like there are some parallels between the two cities. If you have ever been there, you understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, I kind of went around with these flower beds. I think they look really nice, even though they were just, you know, super lazy. I didn't even plan to put them there. I just, boom, done, did it. Little cafe, which I think, you know, it makes sense there. But yeah, that's the end for this segment, so I'll see you in a minute. Alrighty, folks, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that little time lapse of the city growth. Let me know in the comments if I do too many time lapses. I don't really know. I just feel like I'm trying to best show off what we've done, but not waste time. So if you have any suggestions, you know, drop them below. I'd love to hear them. But besides that, let's go ahead and take a look at what we just did. You know, we expanded the grid out here. I built, well, I didn't build, but we had zoned more commercial along this front street, and we built this nice little riverbed park, and I think it came out really, really well. I did put in this little bridge, which is going to connect to Fort Island, and because this is where White Fort is going to be. It's going to be right here. Originally I was going to have it in here, but I was thinking, why would, you know, because I would assume that this was built by the Spanish. Why would they build a fort in a swamp? There's no need for it, right? Realistically, you know, I'm going to assume that this town has been here a while, and so that's why they built the forts. But anyway, again, that's for the future to tell. Yeah, I just kind of made a nice little riverbed park. I think we're going to have another park probably here, and that's going to be more of the beach focused, versus this is definitely more forest, nature-esque kind of vibe. But yeah, I mean, nonetheless, it came out great. Right next to Police Park. Which, how is Police Park doing, by the way? Okay, so just waiting on visitors, which it will definitely get eventually. Let me tame that off. I never charge for parks unless there's like national parks or city parks. I don't charge for city parks. I think that's ridiculous. I'm glad the game mechanic is there, but I'm not going to be using that ever, unless I forget, which has happened. But yeah, so I'm just gonna press play, let those houses start to build out for us. Yeah, I did some parking where I thought would be kind of good, kind of necessary. It does kind of look a little weird, but actually, you know what? I bet. Okay. What if I did this? It's alright. I'm not gonna fix it. Does it look bad? Yeah, but if you look at it from far away, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. Alright. Yeah.
let's go ahead and start working on this area here.
Alrighty, folks, another quick little time lapse. This is an interesting segment. So I wanted to create like a medical a medical center, and I go into more detail about what that is a little later. But the kind of basic idea for this area was like on the mountaintop there was going to be a medical center, there's going to be a bunch of different physicians and offices, like a urgent care, like a clinic, maybe a pediatrics office, right? A bunch of different things. And I kind of started laying down the fabric for an area like that. I definitely still want to put something like that there. You know, I also wanted to tie in the college, which we're going to build here, you know, a few episodes in. But, I don't know, I kind of didn't like it. It's okay. Of course, you know, I just put a little clinic up there, and I do build a little urgent care center off of the main road. So, yeah, so that exists. But, I mean, I'm keeping it for now, so we'll see. But yeah, I forget what asset it is, or else I would tell you guys, but all these assets I got off of this Steam Workshop. This was me trying to figure out where the heck to put this urgent care center. I'm like, oh, I'll just put it up there. And I was like, you know what, that's a perfect spot. Right there, right off the highway, or not the highway, but, you know, the arterial there. The collector, I should say. And yeah, I do my little parking, I call it my parking hack. It's not a hack at all, but it's what I do, and I think it looks good, so I keep it. Yeah, just going around, making it look nice. Yeah, I don't know. I think this came out all right. I don't absolutely love the urgent care center, but it's definitely, I mean, definitely makes sense. For now, it's, you know, it works. It helps the citizens, so I'm keeping it. Yeah. So hopefully, you know, that area becomes a lot better up there. I also did, added some more roads, so, you know, so we can build houses up on the little hill up there. I think that will come out great. And so, yeah. That's kind of it. Just, you know, brief little overview, and that's gonna be the end of this segment, so I'll see you in a minute.
Just come over on the sunny side.
Alrighty, folks, we are back in game here, and yeah, just built out some more roads, started the medical center. So basically it's going to be a giant plaza, think of like a shopping center but for medical needs. So, you know, the clinic's here, and then maybe the family care is here, the pediatrician office here, dentistry over here. Basically like a mall, but, you know, for doctors. And then I also built this little urgent care center. I mean, obviously it's, you know, supposed to go in between other assets, but I just decided to make it its own, like, standalone thing. It obviously wouldn't look good over here. This is supposed to be a little more modern and a little more bleak. So I just put this over here. I think it looks fine. It does the job. That's all that's important. Oh, I did forget. Let me go into my traffic manager here, and you can go there, and you can go there, and you can turn into there if you so desire.
All right, another quick, this one very quick voiceover. Yeah, just went around to this main road and fixed a bunch of the little imperfections with the line tool. Yeah, came out pretty good. Still a few tweaks on the road that we have to make, but that's about it. Just went around and made some fixes.
Alright, and there we go. Just some little intersection fixes. They're still building out here. Perfect. Yeah, I think that is good for this side of town. So let's go ahead and jump over to the next part.
Alright, the last time lapse for today's episode. So, I just jumped on the other side of the highway here and just went around and started planning out the other side of Fort White. When I go in the detail about what I've done, I do say that this might be a new town. I'm taking that back. This is definitely going to be Fort White. It's just the other side of the highway. So, continuing the grid with, like on the other side here. Yeah, just went around. I was playing around with dirt roads because I just didn't really want to spend money if I didn't have to. But hopefully by next episode we'll be able to start zoning on this side. And then I decided that I was just going to leave the the water treatment center over here. So I go ahead and start to build like a small water treatment center. I would imagine that there's a bigger one out maybe on the outskirts of Fort White, and maybe we'll redevelop this in the future. But until then, we're working with this. I did ahead and use Move It just to make sure that basically future-proofing, because I'm not going to put down 3 of them if I don't need to. But yeah, just went around and detailed, made it look a little more used, a little older. And yep, just did that with some decals. Did go ahead and do like a tree border, and I think that kind of helped to make the whole area pop a little more. So that definitely did help. I think I want to do some like warehouses over here. So I'll have to go download some good warehouse assets. And then I just did a little quick fence with these props. Because, you know, I love to make my life difficult, so that's why I did that. No real reason besides that. But I think the whole area kind of came out pretty good. And, yeah, that's going to be the end of this segment. So, I'll see you next time.
Alrighty folks, that is going to be the end of today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. I appreciate everybody stopping by. Yeah, the county is growing. Fort White is growing, and I am super excited to be back here next episode to continue the progress that we've made together. Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, come along with the journey with me, come along for the journey with me. Let's turn this into something great. Hit that like button. Let's reach more enthusiasts, hobbyists, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Just come over on the sunny side. You'll be welcome on the sunny side. Every gentleman and lady, if you're living where it's shady, come over on the sunny side. You'll see the skies if you're one of those across the way, and you find that you're not satisfied. Come and see the blue above again. Live and laugh and love again over on the sunny side. sunny side. You'll be welcome on the sunny side. Every gentleman and lady, if you're living where it's shady, come over on the sunny side. You'll be happy on the sunny side. Maybe find the dreams you've been denied. If the blues have got utilities, you still have possibilities over on the sunny side. Folks who look at life behind a shutter miss this funny sunny world of ours. Looking down, they only see the gutter. Well, if you raise your eyes, you'll see the skies if you're one of those across the way. And you find that you're not satisfied, come and see the blue above again. Live and laugh and love again over on the sunny side. Just come over on the sunny side. You'll be welcome on the sunny side. Every gentleman and lady, if you're living where it's shady, come over on the sunny side. You'll be happy on the sunny side. Maybe find the dreams you've been denied. If the blues have got utilities, you still have possibilities over on the sunny side. Folks who look at life behind a shutter miss this funny sunny world of ours. Looking down, they only see the gutter. Well, if you raise your eyes, you'll see the skies if you're one of those across the way. And you find that you're not satisfied, come and see the blue above again. Live and laugh and love again over on the sunny side. sunny side. You'll be welcome on the sunny side. Every gentleman and lady, if you're living where it's shady, come over on the sunny side. You'll be happy on the sunny side. Maybe find the dreams you've been denied. If the blues have got utilities, you still have possibilities over on the sunny side. Folks who look at life behind a shutter miss this funny sunny world of ours. Looking down, they only see the gutter. Well, if you raise your eyes, you'll see the skies if you're one of those across the way. And you find that you're not satisfied. Come and see the blue above again. Live and laugh and love again over on the sunny side. Just come over on the sunny side. You'll be welcome on the sunny side. Every gentleman and lady, if you're living where it's shady, come over on the sunny side. You'll be happy on the sunny side. Maybe find the dreams you've been denied. If the blues have got utilities, you still have possibilities over on the sunny side. Folks who look at life behind a shutter miss this funny sunny world of ours. Looking down, they only see the gutter. Well, if you raise your eyes, you'll see the skies if you're one of those across the way. And you find that you're not satisfied. Come and see the blue above again. Live and laugh and love again over on the sunny side.